or like the rock type, or they just dropped a rock type. But like, and then there's me with this there's Lycanroc Dusk.
Or they draft an electric type, and then there's you with
no electric type.
With no electric type.
I almost went electric type. No,
I didn't notice.
Doesn't really need one for the most part.
Wait, just go get Rotom Fan.
Yeah, just drop Passy.
Don't matter.
If I was gonna go get an electric type on a tier 5, go get fucking Stunfisk before I got anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go get Electivire.
No, Evire's ass.
You don't need the pancake. You do need that big boy.
But the flying and resist that can set stealth rocks? Like,
but okay, but you already have what, 1, 2, 3 setters already? Do you really need a fourth?
Lycan Dusk is like kind of a mess setter. Like,
you run that Focus Sash, Endeavor, or Celerox.
I don't like suicide leads. I don't know if I've discussed that.
Why not?
Because I feel like if I went 5 mons, I don't like that.
Yo, that's how I've won games before. I ran suicide lead Archeops and UPA.
It's different. It's like Archeops' only good set.
Can we?
Wait.
Can we continue this discussion after we record?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's actually go and record. Sounds good to me.
Oh, it is 10:45.
Yeah, like
no, it's 9:42 actually.
All right. Well, anyways,
are we good? Are we done theory moning?
You should probably start it before we start again.
I started the recording about a minute and a half ago, but trainers of all types, drafters of all disciplines, hello. Now that we've had our fill of theory moning from Clutch and Adam, both of you can go ahead and say hello now. They know you're here.
Hi.
So anyways, back to flying.
Oh, God. So,
I'm not actually here today.
No, Sam is here as well. Silent accomplice in all of this theory moning. No,
Yeah,
this has been.
I'm not here.
Oh, you're not here.
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sam here.
So that was awful, but here we are, and we're gonna be talking about TPL week 2. That's right, we're in the second week of the TPL, and it's some good battles this week. I'll tell you what, this league has been shaping up to be a real good league so far in these first couple of weeks. I'm pretty excited still. We'll see if that wears off anytime soon. And also got a lot of free agent transactions to talk about. There were quite a few last week that are going to be going into effect this week, season 3. Yes, we're in season 3 of TPL already. Did you know this?
Shit. All right.
Yeah, even Adam didn't know, and he's the goddamn commissioner. No, I meant week 3. So, if you can't tell, we're all tired and loopy. But we needed to get this done because otherwise we'd end up doing this in the latter half of the week. And I don't want to fall that far behind. So here we are, recording for you, the viewer.
Viewers like Andrew.
Exactly. I was hoping someone would chime in with that. So anyway, let's get right into the week 2 battles. And we'll start with Akron versus Georgia Tech. And we'll start with the brings here. Akron bringing Crobat, Snorlax, Mega Gardevoir, Arcanine, Weavile, Gastrodon. Georgia Tech Beedrills brought Mesprit, Gourgeist, Slurpuff, Mega Absol, Salazzle, and Chestnut. This is an interesting battle. There was apparently some disconnect issues. Adam, why don't you give us the rundown?
Yeah, we got I want to say 10 to 15 turns in and had a DC, and there were crits. There was a poison on a sludge wave. It was gonna be a pain in the ass to recreate. So we just recreated with the same leads and went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, because it was either try to recreate it for a couple hours, probably fail, go with the same leads, or leave it as a 4-3. Two of the options, not good options.
Fair enough.
So
yeah, we did that, and then Crobat and Mega Gardevoir just kind of did the damn thing.
Yeah. Yep, Mega Gardevoir
he had to die.
Picked up 3 kills, and I gotta say, I took an indecent amount of pleasure in watching that Slurpuff get nuked.
I knew you would. You're welcome.
I knew you were looking out for me, Adam.
Hyper
Anyway.
voice straight to the face.
Yep.
It's no November, guys. Come on.
Oof. Oof. Remember the good old wholesome days when it was just no shave November?
This is a family show, damn it.
It's a family show, fuckface. Watch your damn language. Anyway.
F-bomb count is up to 1. Go ahead.
I think it's actually up to 2 now, but maybe more. San Jose Sharpedos versus Philadelphia Flygons. San Jose bringing Jirachi, Darmanitan, Hawlucha, Masquerain, Alolan Ninetales, and Tapu Fini. Flygons bringing Jolteon, Sylveon, Slowking, Flygon, Heatran, and Lando T. This was an interesting match to watch. It was 36 turns. At some portions, it kind of seemed like both sides prepped past each other a little bit, just a little.
Lots of switching.
Yeah, there was a lot of switching, especially early on. Once you hit the mid game and things start going down, San Jose manages to get Hawlucha in. I think this is a pretty important exchange here because I think this might be the key exchange for the battle. Hawlucha comes in on Sylveon, and Philly makes a safe play, switches Sylveon because when you switch a Hawlucha, which normally doesn't fare well against Sylveon, into a Sylveon, there's a pretty good chance. Sam pointed this out earlier. There's a pretty good chance that there's some tech there, and it's best to scout for that tech. And
it's probably just a good bet in general that you pay attention to well, why did this come in?
Yeah,
in something it can't do anything to usually.
Right. Yes.
So, I think it was a really interesting read by Heathcliff there to just go out to something else.
Yeah. I believe he went out to, what did he go to for because the attack was from the Lucha was Throat Chop. I think he went to,
I think it was Slowking.
Yeah, he went to Slowking, which tanked the Throat Chop.
I think he played around a little bit to try and keep Slowking in decent health. He switched around Lucha a little bit, but it cost him chip on a lot of stuff.
It cost him chip on half of his team. It put half his team into the red, which, when you think about it, because there's Darm in the back still,
and
Rachi, yeah, I mean, definitely I understand why he did it, because he wanted to get that regen heal up on the Slowking, keep that Slowking standing. It's definitely part of a linchpin on his defense. He needed that Slowking to stay alive.
He needed that to keep Darm to
he needed to keep Darm in check. So
Darm had me a little bit.
Yeah. So ended up, got a little too much chip. Hawlucha it got 2 kills. Put in a lot of work.
They just got damage on everything for the rest of the team.
Pretty much. Yeah. Jolteon got sacrificed to the Lucha. Heatran took a high jump kick from the Lucha. It was pretty brutal. That's really about all I have to say about it. It was an interesting sequence of plays. I don't necessarily think it was wrong per se, but it was definitely interesting. And obviously, this is all hindsight, so we have the benefit of looking at this from an exterior perspective. So I'm sure there was actual rationale behind it, but ended up with a 2-0 win for San Jose. Moving on to the Diglets Down Under versus the Anaheim Mighty Golducks. Andrew's final battle, piloting the Diglets team, and the brings Drapion, Mega Manectric, Terrakion, Primarina, Yanmega, Zygarde 50%. Anaheim, their brings Aromatisse, Thundo T, Beartic, Pelipper, Nidoking, and Kingdra. Then Nidoking put in some serious work for Anaheim.
It had the matchup.
It definitely had the matchup. He also got a really good soul read on that Yanmega switch.
It lived on 1.
Yeah, it lived on 1, which is a darn shame, because that thing proved to be a thorn in his side later. Yanmega didn't pick up any kills, but it did a lot of damage to a couple of mons. Did some good chip. This match was it was about middling in length. It was about what your average like Wi-Fi battle goes in length. Spikes were set, or T spikes I mean were set pretty early. By the Diglets. Diglets got those up with Drapion, and that ended up helping because that poisoned half of Anaheim's team. Which, you know, good stuff there. Anaheim didn't have a great. It didn't seem like they had a good Primarina counter, other than like Nido King and maybe Thundo T.
Hardly. I mean, I was gonna say Nido King and Thundy can offensively check it, but like
they're.
You start to realize why Prim is a good mon is because switch-ins to it.
Yeah.
It's just like the dual stab has really just fantastic coverage.
It has
a
whole lot.
It's got a great offensive strat,
and it's got and like then he's also packing Flash Cannon on Kingdra, which I think he's packing it for more than Primarina. What does Diglets have any other fairies on their team?
No, that's the one.
Okay. That did nothing.
It was probably for Primarina.
Yeah. It was
it did.
Prim was AV, right?
Yeah, it was Assault Vest Prim. Yeah,
it was Assault Vest, and that thing did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It didn't help that Kingdra's specs got knocked off earlier, but yeah, it was. Andrew did a good job of kind of controlling the momentum.
Yeah,
and forcing unprofitable switch-ins.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the way he played Zygarde was, he didn't get the sweep or anything, but like he did play it well to like kind of put pressure on, like the way that he had Zygarde out and the way that he had Yanmega out and things like that were things that force Mango to kind of react and adjust.
And like I said, he got poison on half of Anaheim's team. Like it was a rough game.
T-Spike's are one of the best edges in the format just because, like, it's all that chip.
Yeah.
Just consistent, like, that consistent.
It's one of those things where I feel like it's a higher reward, but it's also easier to get rid of depending on the team you're facing. Because if they have,
Not all teams have a grounded poison type.
You're right. And, like... I'm actually kind of surprised that the Golducks didn't try and get those T-Spikes off the field quicker. Did they have a defogger? Do you know if Mango's was packing?
If anything, it was Pelipper.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something that Anaheim might struggle with is hazard removal, and it's looking more and more like they're going to need hazard removal. I think because there was lots of hazard stacking this week. In general, like two teams got sticky webs set up on them. One of those teams got rocks and webs up on them, and like you got Toxic Spikes doing a lot of work. Because Toxic Spikes accounted for a lot of chip on Anaheim's team, and he did a good job keeping. Andrew did a good job of keeping Mega Manectric in the back pocket till he felt like it could come in and clean.
Yeah, it is pivotal later.
Yep,
that's for sure.
Speaking of hazards and webs and such.
Yeah, our next battle. Waynesboro Gallades versus the Lancashire Luxrays. And Waynesboro brought Zeraora, Ribombee, Mew, Victini, Palisand, Mega Aggron. Lancashire brought Gligar, Melodic, Beedrill, Mega Beedrill, Reuniclus, Entei, and Hydreigon. And Waynesboro got rocks and sticky webs up. This is the battle where rocks and webs got up on the same team. And unfortunately, the Gligar, which I'm assuming was the defogger for Lancashire, got nuked early by Hidden Power Ice.
Yeah.
Shout out to FaZe for finding what Ethan's team cannot deal with, though.
Yeah.
A strong ghost type move just kind of pops his team.
Yeah.
That team's ghost resist is just very slim, especially without a Como there to take it.
Yeah.
And your dark type your dark type is Greninja.
Yeah.
And your normal type
thing ever.
Yeah, it's
and there's a Zangoose there, but like, Zangoose ain't taking any form of coverage.
So, yeah, FaZe knows how to use Reuniclus because 2 weeks, 8 kills.
Yeah, that Reuniclus put in some serious work in this battle. I think if Gligar had been around to defog, this might have been a different game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember talking to FaZe beforehand, and he was like, "Is Gligar a bad lead?" And like, I was like, "Yeah, depending, no." But like, it just seemed like the HP ice from Zeraora is something that's absolutely there.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of surprised he didn't scout for it more. Like, maybe he just assumed that it wasn't specs and that he'd live. Like,
maybe. Well, the thing, yeah, and that's the thing with Zeraora's like. And I think sometimes though people do forget that about Zeraora, that it can run special sets very effectively, and I don't necessarily think that's what happened with FaZe here. I think maybe you're right. I think maybe he thought it was like because it could easily have been Scarf to outspeed Mega Beedrill, because otherwise it speed ties.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they had the same.
No, Zeraora is slower by 2 points.
Oh, it is slower. Okay, so. It's a possibility. I don't think I would ever run that Zeraora set.
Yeah,
but
I mean, leading Zeraora is just like kind of a powerful move in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
because like the only situation in which you get outsped is if somebody has like, I mean, if he had let I thought it was kind of ballsy on Ethan's part in the sense that if FaZe had led Mega B, which would be kind of not uncommon, right? Like that's like.
Yeah, I mean that.
Just like he clicks U-turn, he clicks like drill run, and suddenly Ethan has to switch. Like
and Ethan's team didn't. I mean, other than Mega Aggron, doesn't have a lot that can just tank a hit from Mega Beedrill.
Mega Aggron would be an unmega'd.
Yeah. So yeah, even then, so yeah, that is even So even Aggron would have trouble with that, and it's so yeah. I mean, Zeraora. Ballsy lead, but it was the lead that worked, and Zeraora picked up 4 kills this game, put in some serious work once that late game was around. He did a good job keeping it in the back pocket after that initial lead.
Yeah, I mean, once Gligar's out of the way, like T-Bolt's just such a free lock for a spec Zeraora. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty spooky.
Yeah, well, and he had on top of that webs and rocks on the other team. Oh, it's so good. Zeraora thrives in those sorts of scenarios.
Oh, sure.
Because you're getting the rocks chip, and then your opponents, even like there's Scarfers that might have outsped you, suddenly don't anymore. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic place to be when you're a Zeraora.
Or when you're anything that.
Well, yeah.
As a choice item.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what's the next battle?
Next battle is
big early threats.
Ohio Ninetales versus Kansas City Kingdras. Ohio brings Garchomp, Mega Venusaur, Tornadus Eye, Empoleon, Silvally, and Heracross. Kansas City Kingdras bring Kyurem Black, Superior, Alolan Persian, Gliscor, Gothitelle, and Caesar. Tell us about this battle, Clutch.
So, the game started off like I wanted to like try and apply much pressure to this team as I possibly could, and so I just kind of let off with Kyurem Black because I'm a savage. and he ended up with Garchomp. The way it ended up like this game really turned. Because I ended up denying rocks. Empoleon, a few things, other things happened. I had to go my Silvally go a couple times, but like before, Silvally, I know my, but like before all this, like the mid game was really defined by like the fact that I had my Scissoring on Mike's Tornado, so I don't have a flying resist on the team. My flying resist are obviously kind of bad on this team, so I was like, I had my Scissoring, and I was like, I'm gonna go for Bullet Punch here. I did the calc, and I was like, this should kill, and it lived on like 2 health, and he goes for Heat Wave and it misses. So I got the free Bullet Punch click off, and his best breaker against me goes down without anything. So at that point, I got to open up the game with Kyurem Black. I opened the game with Kyurem Black. Scizor kind of came in, got an SD up, killed a couple things, and finished off the game with Goth. It kind of like I had ways of handling Mike's like potential threats. So like Silvally was honestly kind of a major issue. It was like 3 attacks partying shot and it had coverage for my entire team. So trying to switch into that was a little frustrating at times, but I had to try and keep it out or just outright obliterate it with a Z move into Outrage from Kieran Black because Kieran Black is a dumb Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, it was certainly not. It wasn't. It would have been a lot. It probably would have been a lot closer without if that Heat Wave had hit. Is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not sure how that game would have ended if I would have had to get Goth in a little bit earlier, but like that game would certainly been quite different.
Yep. All right. So we move on to another battle that one of our hosts was involved in. Galesburg Gliscors versus the Seattle Supersonics. Seattle was packing Diggersby, Vaporeon, Cobalion, Megalatias, Roserade, and Mandibuzz. Galesburg was brought Megapidgeot, Bronzong, Hoopa Unbound, Florges, Nidoqueen, and Rotom Wash. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Neek's back to form.
Yeah. Oh, Sam's mic's muted, so never mind.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
So this game kind of like the way this game like played out from what I watched this.
Okay.
This twice now. The mid game was a lot of trading on both sides. Here for damage for damage.
Wait, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all kills.
Yeah.
The mid game was trade for trade. But the end game was defined by paras. The last 10 turns it was Mandibuzz versus the world, and Mandibuzz could have done it. Unless some unfortunate paras would have could have done it, barring potential unfortunate paras. In the back was a Mega Pidgeot, and there was a Bronzong, a Mega Pidgeot, and Florges. Essentially, and a Hoopa. I want to say Florges.
Yeah, it's like, wait, Florges.
There was no Florges in the back. It was those 3 mons, but like,
yeah.
So there was a chance that Mandibuzz could have done it, barring he got put in. I think it was like 3 or 4 turns in a row on Hoopa U going for Ice Punch. So
yeah,
it's hard to tell if the damage could have been roosted off by the Mega Pidgeot. Damage could have been roosted off. I know it had some spit up investment to be able to do that, but
yeah.
So that got a little bit messy there. So
yeah.
But
it's always tough to know in those situations what would have happened if the paras hadn't hit, like procced or anything like that.
It probably wouldn't matter because the best damage that Mandibuzz could have done to Pidgeot was Brave Bird, so that would have been kind of you were taking recoil plus hurricane damage. It probably didn't matter in that sense, but
there was a chance was there. Yeah, there was a slim chance. So now we go into yet another battle that one of our hosts was involved in, and that would be the San Antonio Sceptiles versus the Can-Am Drifblims, because I can't pronounce my own team name, apparently. Can-Am brought Rhyperior, Emboar, Amoonguss, Mega Altaria, Slowbro, and Alakazam. San Antonio brought Suicune, Zygarde 10, Galvantula, Pori2, Gengar, and Tornadus T. So early game was a lot of kind of jockeying for position, because you'll note none of the kills happened before turn 19. This is a longer battle. It's tough to, it kind of went like how you would expect up until probably around like the halfway point. Well, actually, it went about how you'd expect until Gengar turns out. Let me order my thoughts a little bit better here. So Dominator did a really good job bluffing Scarf or some form of choice item, but it was I thought it was Scarf because of the damage output. Bluffing Scarf on his Gengar. It didn't have Scarf. It had Ghostium Z, and he used it to nuke my Amoonguss, which would have really helped later on in the match. It would have definitely helped in the midpoint of the match. It didn't. It might have saved me some chip on other things, but ended up nuking it. Then there was a lot more back and forth. Emboar comes in and kills Suicune after I chipped the shit out of Suicune, because there were 2 weird sets on Dominator's team that I was not expecting. One of them was Protect, Calm Mind, Suicune. Because frankly, Protect, Calm Mind, Suicune is not a good set to bring against my team. And it was proven when I spored it twice and basically healed off any damage I took from it on my Amoonguss by Giga Draining it. And so it was not the most optimal set. He used it well, to his credit, though. He did good with a lot of good switch predictions, keeping Toxic off of his team. Because he denied one of the things I wanted to do to his team, which is pass around a lot of Toxic Poison and, you know, sleep and paralysis and stuff like that. And I didn't really get to do that very well because of the way he was switching. So he did a pretty good job on that score. I had some bad luck where the poison on Sludge Bomb procced on my Slowbro, which made it harder to keep Slowbro alive. So Slowbro ended up going the way of the dinosaur a little bit later in the match. Then, eventually, through much maneuvering, the match ends up with a pretty close to full health, if not full health, Mega Altaria, a very low Alakazam, and a paralyzed Emboar versus Tornadus T, which is at full health, and Gengar, which is at, I think, around 55, maybe a little lower. And at the time, this is where the second set I wasn't predicting came in, which was the Tornadus T set, because I had Alakazam out. I knew Alakazam didn't outspeed Torny T. Like, I did all the calcs. I'm like, I'm going to lose now because this Torny T outspeeds my entire team. And then Torny T hits 3 Hurricanes in a row. And it turns out that those actually mattered, because if he had missed even one of those, I would have won. Probably. I would have actually had a chance of winning if he had missed one of those Hurricanes. Also, if I had sequenced my plays differently, but I didn't know at the time, is that my Alakazam could have actually did outspeed the Torny T. And almost O-code it with the Psyshock. Which surprised me. And if, like, once the Torny T is down, I think I would have done enough damage with... Actually, I calced it. I would have done enough damage and probably outsped... In fact, definitely outsped the Gengar and killed the Gengar with another Psyshock, which would have given me the win. But I didn't know that it wasn't teched for speed. And I ended up making a dubious sequence of plays because at that point I was like, I've lost.
I kind of wonder, because Torrent had switched before. I should go back and watch that, because there's definitely a battle I watched today that of course switching order is based on speed tiers and everything.
Yeah,
because he'd switched out earlier. I wonder if
he clicked U-turn on me earlier is what he did, and
that makes sense.
Yeah, so in that U-turn, I don't remember what he U-turned on, but it didn't really do very much. So I didn't know that it wasn't teched for speed because, frankly, most of my team, it outspeeds anyway. Oh, you know what it did? It U-turned on Rhyperior, I think, on the Switch. Was what it did. So I maybe could have played the last sequence better. Credit, though, to Dominator. Dominator did a really good job with his switches and his predictions, keeping all that Toxic off his team. So it was a good battle. I don't have a lot of regrets. It was a 2-0 win for San Antonio. Moving on to our final battle of the week. Indianapolis Ponytas versus the Colorado Agrons. Indianapolis brings Uxie, Excadrill, Araquanid, Golbat, Tyranitar, and Rotom Heat. Colorado Agrons bring Toxapex, Latios, Mega Caesar, Raikou, Donphan, and Talonflame. And yeah, Pack's back in full force. This was the most Pack match I've seen Pack play since he's come back to Mons.
And this was a Pack that actually didn't feel like he played that well.
Yeah. But he
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, but he did a great job of controlling the battle on his end, it's something that Pack did. That's how he operated in RDL seasons 1 and 2. He's a tough opponent to face because he's pretty good at predictions. He's got solid fundamentals outside of that. Colorado, I mean, they did their best.
Yeah,
I have never seen a Mega Scizor do exactly 5 points of damage before.
Yeah.
Burned on a quad.
Burned
right?
U-turn into a Eviolite Golbat. Golbat.
Golbat.
Well, yeah.
5.
Did basically nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
Golbat.
that heat wave landed.
That Golbat is like,
burned.
yeah, that Golbat is like I kind of think that Golbat's like the unsung hero of this match a little bit.
Rotom Heat was.
Wow.
Except it wasn't on the song.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rotom Heat's the actual hero because that thing blew back that Dawn fan with Z Heat Wave
What?
or Overheat. I get the two confused. Okay.
One misses and the other's amazing because it comes from a little toaster oven.
There we go.
The little toaster oven that could. Pack would be quick to tell you that it's a microwave.
Damn it. Yeah.
No, that's an
Pack would
oven.
be quick to tell
That's
you
an oven. That has a door.
Yeah, but like as he
In
established.
America, it's an oven.
Anyways,
This is America.
this is America. Look at these rice balls. They're not rice balls. They're donuts. Check like season 1 Pokemon. That is a thing. In the
What?
dub, they are holding rice balls, and Brock goes, "I sure love donuts." And like Ash is like, "Yeah, these donuts are great." And I'm like, "Those are not donuts."
But who needs it?
So
what's next?
next we're gonna go into some FATs. That's right, free agent transactions.
Y'all talked about my battle while I was like.
Yes,
gone for 5
we
minutes.
did.
Who's next in the order?
Yeah.
That was so quick.
Yep.
Anyways,
we burned through this pretty dang quick. So I think it's because Clutch and Adam want to get back to theory moning, so they're burning through this as fast as possible.
So you're telling us we should start right now?
No,
Mid-episode,
no,
start theory
no, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying we should talk
the general topics.
We should talk
Anyways.
talk about these FATs here because there were quite a few. So
They really were.
So let's start at the top here. We've got wow, I gotta, geez, hold on a second, because I gotta kind of organize these. So, the trade's effective week 3.
We started with Clutch.
Yeah,
Yay.
Clutch. Clutch drops Passimian for Kadabra, which, it's understandable. Kadabra is actually a really great budget psychic.
Yeah, I wanted some special pressure, and I wanted this here.
Mm-hmm.
Kadabra filled both spots.
Yep. Kadabra is a very solid mon. It's one of the better like secondary evolutions for the trade Evo mons because I think it's one of the few, if not the only one, that's actually usable on its own.
Yeah, pretty much.
At least out of the Gen 1 trade Evo mons.
Haunter's pretty solid as well.
Yeah, Haunter's not bad.
Debatable.
I don't know. I feel like I after using Haunter and AI, I'm definitely
Honkster.
Honkster, excuse me. After using Honkster and AI, like I don't know, like as a tier 5 ghost type, like there are a lot of teams that don't have ghost resists, and like 95 speed isn't bad. Throw some specs on it; it'll hurt a little. Like I
Guess 115's bad is not terrible.
I'm definitely a convert after this AI season.
Oh, wait. Hold up. Second stage, Porygon 2.
Oh,
no, but I'm talking Gen 1. Pori 2 wasn't introduced until
Porygon
Gen 2.
Was Gen 1.
Yeah, Porygon was Gen 1. Exactly.
They're both Gen 1 ones.
The real heat is running a regular.
Pori 2 is not a Gen 1 mon.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Whatever. Moving on.
For once, I'm not the one who made the mistake. I made mine earlier. Anyway, so actually we're moving into Adam's free agent transactions and also a trade. The first ever trade in TPL. Akron trades Waynesboro Como for Buzzswole.
I had to keep my streak alive because I had the first ever trade in RDL too.
Oh yeah, that you did. Well, I think it's a good trade. It definitely allowed you.
Benefited both of us.
Yeah, it did. It definitely benefited both of you. I think Buzzswole works better for We talked about. Did we talk about Waynesboro's FATs last week? I feel like we did.
Awesome?
I feel like we did.
We didn't talk about any last week.
Okay, so that was just a different discussion that almost all of us were here for, and I got it confused with it being the podcast.
That wasn't on the podcast.
Okay, there we go. See, I made my mistake. Moving on. So that facilitated the opportunity for Adam to drop Drudigan for Kofagrigus and Wheezing for Armaldo.
Boys back.
Yep.
We'll come to exactly one match.
As is tradition.
Pretty much.
And that allowed Waynesboro to make some more FATs. They dropped Palisand for Drudigan and Blossom for Zangoose.
And now he has a ground resist that is not Blossom.
Yeah. And I think that's
not
important.
a real resist.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important. I think I honestly, Ethan made some good transactions this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So
he has Mew on the block as well.
Yeah.
Just a quick side note.
Yeah, he did put Mew up on the trade block. So if any of you are interested in Psychic type with all base 100 stats, it's there. I'm not, because I've already got the Psychic type stuff covered. I don't really need another one.
Mad. Mew Concord.
Yeah, it could have happened.
I mean, it's weird for me because I was definitely thinking about drafting Mew round 3 or round 4 or something. Yeah, it was round 4. And man, I wish I could have gotten it. And because I was about to build a team around that, and now I have a Volcanion instead. And it's like when it's like when you get broken up with and you're all sad about it, and then you meet someone who's better, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe it's good that this happened. It's I'm not taking Mew is like my ex, and I'm not taking my ex back today.
Jeez. That's a laborious metaphor. Anyway,
laborious metaphor that might be lost on the Pokemon community occasionally.
Ooh, that's a chilling indictment on the Pokemon community. Jeez, these hot takes. Woo!
We can poke fun at our.
All right.
Sometimes we can make jokes about nerds, not
Yeah. Okay. So let's swiftly move on away from this topic, and move on to my FATs.
The profile picture.
Come on, it's been my profile picture for a while now. Anyway,
still can't accept it.
It's just a different Gundam. Anyway, I burned the rest of my FATs, so I dropped Mega Altaria for Mega Slowbro to give me 40 more free points. I dropped Slowbro, which gave me exactly enough with the amount I had left over from the draft to draft another tier 1, or to pick up another tier 1, which I did, which is Zapdos. And then I dropped Rotom for Kingler.
Good. And what are you doing?
Not again.
Rotom was redundant with Zapdos. He had to drop it for something. And if you could get something to bridge that speed gap,
which it does.
You don't have a. But an Alolan Executor's right there. But okay.
I mean,
that's not bridging the speed gap whatsoever.
Yeah,
no, it's not. But it's giving you another trigger.
When things in the high 70s can run modest against you or adamant, there's a lot of breakers that chill there.
Yeah.
True. Metagross is an example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine
it's 70s, so it's not high 70s.
And it's not like Kingler has, he has base 130 attack with sheer force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I think it's a good move. Force people out into, force them to find their water resist with your
I really think these FATs definitely helped fill a lot of the gaps that my team had going into this season. I'm particularly proud of myself for the sudden inspiration to pick up Mega Slowbro, which gave me to give myself the points to pick up Zapdos. That was all me. I'm just saying.
You're gonna have to blow me back with Kingler before I accept it as a good mod.
Challenge accepted.
Look, I get that it
please, Please bring Kingler against me.
Anyway, Yeah, so it bridges a couple different speed. This set of free agent transactions bridges a couple different speed gaps. There's the
I love Zapdos and Mega Slowbro for you.
Yeah, I actually just like Mega Slowbro in general. I've been wanting to use it for a while now, and I saw the opportunity. So that base 180 defense, whoa.
Plus, it's not first turn Mega, so you can switch in.
Right. That's actually the entire reason why I actually decided to do this is because I'm like, I mean, I can with Regenerator active. If I play my cards right, most of the time I'm not going to necessarily need the leftovers as much. And then if I feel like once I feel like the moment is right, I just click that Mega button, get that base 180 defense, and start. And notably, a pretty decent attack stat as well. And just start walling and crushing shit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, good. My team cannot handle Mega Slowbro.
And Zapdos gives me a defogger, and after especially watching all the matches this week, I'm glad I now have a usable defogger.
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
Yup, because there were, like I said earlier, there were a lot of hazards being used this week, and they're like. Pretty much every team that didn't have an adequate way of dealing with hazards suffered heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Zapdos is at least less passive than some
right. Yeah, you can run offensive Zapdos sets. It has that capability. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, what's next?
So next is our Mon of the week, and it's
my God. Oh wait, no, you're right.
Yeah, come on now.
You're right.
Give me some credit here. Oh, well, there were a couple attempted free agent transactions that got in just above the wire and didn't make it in time for week 3. Those will be coming into effect week 4.
Talk about those next week.
Yup. So we'll be talking instead about our Mon of the week like I originally intended, which is Bewear.
Stuffle!
Yeah.
I love Stuffle.
Hey.
Bewear, the Mon that accidentally kills its trainers because it hugs them too hard. That is terrifying.
Oh yeah, I really buy into the fan theory now that all the dex entries are just written by kids, so they're horribly inaccurate.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Shocker! Sam's wearing a tinfoil hat.
Yeah. When does this happen? When do I ever spam?
No, I totally buy it.
But
stats first.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of that thing.
So the stats on this thing, HP base HP is 120. And I'm gonna skip the attack stat for now. We'll get back to that. But the defense is base 80, special defense is base 60, which doesn't sound like a lot, but paired with that base 120 HP and the ability Fluffy, which is fucking fantastic. I love Fluffy, which is this Pokemon receives half damage from contact moves, but double damage from fire moves. That makes Bewear very physically bulky. Surprisingly physically bulky.
Against most, 120-80 was already good enough to take those things, but contact moves are not touching it.
Yeah, and
how much Garchomp does to it.
Yeah, and pair that with a base 125 attack and a normal fighting typing, which is great physical attack typing right there.
Great neutral coverage for the most part.
Great neutral coverage.
Other than, if your opponent has a ghost.
Yeah. Well, you get Shadow Claw, though.
Yeah, but, it can only do so much sometimes.
It does run into...
I remember looking at bringing Bewear against Adam, who had a Coffagrigus, and, Bewear that's unboosted doesn't touch it.
Yeah.
But, of course, that's also a Coffagrigus. Nothing is the same.
Garchomp Outrage... 4 Co's max HP Bewear.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, Bewear is nuts.
I mean, when it basically resists, right? It's basically a 120-80 Mon with a dragon resistance if you're throwing outrages at it.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. And I mean, this thing is cracking back hard.
Oh yeah.
And it gets Drain Punch.
Yeah.
Make it even harder to take down.
Yep. It gets Earthquake, it gets your usual kind of physical move suite.
In case your defense good enough already, you can click Bulk Up.
Notably, it also gets Hammer Arm, which is pretty good. Especially, I think Hammer Arm is much better in Draft League than it is in Ladder.
Run that in doubles on a Trick Room team. You
Well-
drop your speed even lower.
Well, I mean, I'm talking like singles, but yeah. I mean, it does. Hammer Arm definitely has more utility in doubles, but yeah.
It's like an mindset.
I think the thing about Bewear that's cool as well is like it's got good bulk, it's got good attack. The speed is a bit mediocre. It's also just like I didn't really get a chance to run this when I had it as much, but like the massive attack plus like the high HP and kind of the like middling SPDF does make it like a really great AV runner. Like
Yeah.
throw an assault vest on it, throw it 4 attacks on it. It gets good coverage. It gets the elemental punches.
Yep.
Oh, look at that high facade.
Yep. You can,
Oh man.
You can run Flame Orb Facade on this thing.
Basically God.
Another ability that we should bring up is Unnerve, which definitely is a usable ability on this mon. It can actually, it's niche, but like you can use that to help you against like Snorlax that's running a berry set, or you know other bulky normals that are running berries.
Yeah, I mean, if ever there was a mon that like, I mean, Unnerve Bewear pretty much shuts down most Snorlax. If it's
You want some real tech with Bewear? Run Klutz Roleplay. You replace your ability with the target's. Wait. Does that go both ways? Hold on.
Yo, it's a bad set.
I have to look up roleplay. I don't know what it does. Oh, wait.
You're making me think of like a very iffy webcomic involving
Yeah.
where you use
I'm glad that our minds went to the same place.
It's like, oh, hey, I didn't know Bewear fit into a nurse outfit. Like,
I mean, that is unnerving, so, you know, it fits with that ability.
Yeah.
Replaces user's ability. No, shit. Never mind. I was trying to get Klutz onto the opponent, and then they can't use their item.
Which is real great as they switch into Mega, right?
Yeah. I mean...
Never mind, just run Baby Doll Eyes. You'll be fine.
Yeah, facts. That's a good set.
That is actually not bad.
That's the heat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Bewear, like, it's one of those weird mons I think a lot... It takes hits that some people don't expect it to.
It gets taunt?
Yup.
That's weird.
I love this thing's moveset because it's... there are weird options in there.
Dance.
So SD Bewear is such a great breaker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
SD Bewear is terrifying, especially if you pop like a silk scarf on it.
Like
Pop a Z move on it.
like
Honestly.
SDZ double edge or something like that.
That's a set.
That's gonna put a dent.
Boston through something.
Yep.
I wonder how much that. What's a good thing to calc that against? Because I really want to see it.
What? I'm trying to find like a neutral hit, but it'll blow back anything neutral.
Let's just see how much it does to like a Vaporeon.
I'm calculating on Celesteela, so don't worry about it.
You have fun with that. I'm calculating on Vaporeon because this thing's about to die.
Does 60 to 71 to standard Vaporeon, standard to Celesteela.
Woo! Boy!
Vaporeon's about to keel over.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm seeing 68 to 80.
Yeah.
Mine's probably adamant.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Jolly Bewear does 128% minimum to Vaporeon. Yo, if it protects, you still do a third of its health.
But why? When you can run Superpower and +2 max attack adamant Superpower from a Bewear, has a chance to OHKO a standard Celesteela.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a neutral hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a base 125 attack mon with +2.
That's
Great stab.
insane, though.
It'll throw some hits.
This is definitely, if you're looking for a really good budget breaker, like on the physical side, Bewear is maybe a good option for you.
Yep.
Especially if you've already got like a good ghost type on your team that can like weed out enemy ghost types. Because that's kind of what it struggles to deal with. It struggles to deal with bulky ghosts.
It does appreciate that it can switch in and have a like immunity to ghost type.
Right, that's true too.
AV Bewear could be a good answer to like Gengar that's giving you problems.
Yeah, indeed, and it has Earthquake, which Gengar does not appreciate. Provided it's. Does Gengar still get Levitate?
No.
No. Okay.
Pair Bewear with a Mega Absol.
Yeah, that's actually that's a pretty good offensive core right there.
Until someone starts throwing like,
raw fighting type moves at you.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the offensive core. You get something good for your defensive core. You'll be fine.
go
Put
get a
pretty
Glyce
close
core.
with those two.
Not fair enough.
I mean, you'll still have the points for it because Bewear, like I said, Bewear is what, tier 4?
Yep.
Tier 4 is it's good in its spot.
Yeah.
If it can show up, it's gonna throw off some hits. Like
Yep.
I think I ran banded Bewear against Santoro last season, and like that thing like 2-hit KO'd Tangrowth. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really sweet little budget breaker down at tier 4. So
Yep. Bring it against the team that has barely anything to outspeed it. Throw an ice punch into the Glyce score. No one would get that reference.
Ooh.
Jeez. This guy. Anyways,
that's
gonna wrap up this podcast. Running a little short. We are like I said, tired and loopy, but I hope you enjoyed about a minute and a half of theory moning. So I'm gonna let Adam and Clutch, who are just chomping at the bit to get back to that. I'm gonna let them at it. So until next week, have a good season. And if your season has yet to start, have a good draft. Peace.